The last basic shape that we're going to deal with is the sphere. Now, a sphere and a circle are different. A circle is 2 dimensions, a sphere is 3 dimensions. Now, when we're drawing the sphere, to draw it in perspective, it's very, very simple. It certainly becomes a circle on your 2-dimensional paper. So, to draw that circle, now if you were in the classroom, I'd pass out compasses. We have a half dozen different compasses that we would then set down and we draw them around. You try to get the shape or the size to be in comparison to the other things that you've drawn. Since you might have a compass at home, maybe one of your parents might have a compass, or you might have one from when you were younger in school. If you do, great, use it. If you don't, try to find an object that's round, like a lid of something. This is our palette. This would be too big mostly for the drawing, but you know, the idea of putting it down and simply tracing it. Okay, that's one of the things that you can do. Now, a sphere is kind of interesting as far as its shadows. Depending on where the light source is coming, our light source, once again, is coming diagonally from above and slightly in front. So what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that the light passes past the top, and you're going to have a core shadow that's something like this. Now, if this was just floating in space, you know, nothing else around it, this would all be dark. But it's not. We've got all this reflected light. It's bouncing off the bottom of the table. It's bouncing off the object that's behind it. And so when we look at the object that I have lit, there's a very, very dark shadow that goes right along here. And then it's kind of a triangular shape here. And this is quite dark. And then it starts getting lighter as you get past it. And lighter up here. And the reason why is because there's light that's bouncing mainly off the cube that's behind it. And so you have to look and see what's happening. Also, the other thing that happens is right around here, where the cast shadow is going to be, the light's coming underneath. And so when you draw the cast shadow, it'll come out a little bit, and then it's going to be a big oval. And it's going to be dark out here, but right in here, it's going to be a little bit lighter because of where all the light's being bounced around. Okay. And there's a good chance that this will actually, I've drawn this just a little high, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Don't be afraid to erase and correct things. Now, here, this will get lighter as it comes down here, and you'll have a shadow on the edge. But depending on where the light is bouncing up from, it's probably going to be fairly light right through this area here. Okay. Now, we're going to look at some examples of actual drawings of the still life, and we'll talk on that, talk about how some of these shadows work. Right now we're going to go back to the still life and just look at those cast shadows.